Hey, welcome to another locked in stream. I hope you guys are all good. Well, I have to say, Game Week 22 was about as disastrous as the last few game weeks for me. Since the wildcard, it's been an absolute disaster, to be honest. Although, let's just kind of rein it back a little bit. I did get, 57 points, so it wasn't terrible. It was a red arrow, another red arrow, and I think that's probably where I'm just kind of like, ugh, so many red arrows, but it wasn't a huge red arrow. And to be honest, all I can say about that is it shouldn't have been like a huge red arrow. I mean, we had the likes of Alvarez with a brace, Watkins scoring, Solanke scoring. We had Saka doing okay, and Foden as my captain, obviously getting an assist helped. But yeah, there were definitely people in the side that let the team down, specifically the defence. Martinez, again, not really covering me in glory since getting him on my wildcard. Pedro Porro with just the 1 point. Trent, oh my gosh, like seriously, I remember asking you guys in the poll on Tuesday whether I should keep him or not, and so many of you said to do it, but there was just something in my gut saying I'm not sure he's ready, I'm not sure he's like back in that space where he's smashing 8 to 18 points every week. And then, yeah, the shock that was the Estupinan Brighton result. So, yeah, it definitely could have gone a lot better for me. And I guess confidence is low. Confidence is low with the Nympham this week. I have 2 transfers and I'm not really sure where to go with it. But I do know that I have some thoughts on where I would like to go with it. So I am going to kind of chat through them all with you. If you guys have any questions, do get them in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And yeah, we will crack on. First of all, I'd like to go through what we have and what we don't have for the presses, because obviously information is coming in all the time. They're not all completely done yet. Well, let's skip forward to as low as we can go for today from Ben, because I like how he summarizes everything up for us. So this was an interesting one from Klopp that I seen earlier on, that Nunes will be assessed after leaving Anfield in a protective boot on Wednesday night. Klopp said, I don't know if he is available after 20 minutes. Somebody stood on his foot. He left the stadium in a boot. And I remember the quote said, not a football boot. Nothing broken. X-ray was clear but swollen. We'll have to see if his foot can get back in the boot. I've not seen him yet, so we'll see. So that was interesting. I don't know whether that's some sort of mind games with Arsenal up next. So yeah, that's interesting. So that was Kudos returned for the Hammers. Moy said Aguard was expected to be back with the squad soon. Soufal returns after his 1-match ban. So that's West Ham. A couple of the lads are clear, getting closer. We'll assess the squad today. Harvey, Barnes and Callum Wilson are probably a little bit ahead of Joe Willock. Doesn't necessarily say that they're back though. And I think that's that for there. Right, okay. So we then had Martinez will be assessed ahead of the game with West Ham on Sunday. And McAllister is not named on the Reds injury list. Rob Edwards is hoping a Mengi return at St James's Park. He was just feeling his hip. One of the actions, Goodison. So that's that one. Those that got Eze, well done on your brace. I don't know with Eze. He came off with tightness in his hamstring. He's going for a scan. Elise should be okay, but the squad hasn't trained yet. They had a day off yesterday. Well, that's really helpful if you have Elise or Eze. It's not really confirmation either way. No Charles, Gaston and Cuckoo returned. Jackson could be added to the squad following his involvement. Looking ahead to the game at Goodison Park, we see how who's this on? Oh, Papia Sarr. He's had a long trip. Obviously, we'll see in training. Everyone else got through the game okay. So, Benrahma just being cleared to join Leon. Interesting. Martinez was played down by Ten Hag as precautionary. Amrabat will be with the squad. Mason Mount isn't going to be back. Okay. Here we are. Here's the news, I guess. We've been waiting on. Pep's Erling Haaland is ready to start. Everyone is ready, said Pep. John Stones is really good after 90 minutes midweek. Akanji could return to the matchday squad following a return to training. Wow, okay. So that doesn't really help us, does it? Let's be honest. It doesn't help us. He's done a very Pep thing there, where he's given us just enough, but not enough of anything. So he's ready, so everyone is ready. So he's ready, he's fit, he's ready. Does that mean he starts? It doesn't say he will start. FPL Tony, interestingly, I'll just I'll just pull that one. Oops. Switch that one with that one a minute so you can see this. So FPL Tony has tweeted, just to revisit this, Tony put for De Bruyne ready to start equals will start. Ooh, very interesting. So Tony suggesting Haaland will start. Thing is, how do you guys think that Haaland looked, right? When he came on, he looked a bit... But then it's Bournemouth? Oh, I say Bournemouth. Is it Bournemouth? Am I just imagining that? Brentford. It's Brentford. So, you know, they do ship goals. Hey Bryn, hey Geddy, how you guys doing? We're a bit quiet here today. I think most people are knackered from such an early start midweek, and then I guess most people will be back for the deadline streams tomorrow morning. But yeah, you know, it's good, it's fine. You know, we need to keep consistent here on YouTube, so YouTube knows that this is our slot. So we're doing our best to do that as much as possible. I'm gonna ask you guys, hey John, I'm gonna ask you guys, are you buying? I'm gonna get a poll going. Let's get a poll going. I feel a bit lazy this Friday afternoon. Is anyone else? I can see it. Can you guys not see it? It might just be a bit slower updating. After what happened last time, it's probably just had a minor meltdown, to be honest. Are you buying Haaland? Let's just go with that first, and then we'll ask some like questions off of the back of it. I think that's probably the best way to start. Also, I think there's some bigger guns streaming right now, which is, you know, completely understandable. So, how is my week besides FPL? Oh, I've not been too good. I've not been particularly well this week. But, you know, we're soldiering through. We're soldiering through. It's been a very busy one this week, John. How was your week? I hope you've had a good one. Right, let's have a little play here. If Tony thinks that that means equals he starts, I guess we've got to decide whether or not we feel that he is going to get up to speed enough for us to buy him and captain him. So I guess that's the other thing. The other thing is Alvarez plus Haaland plus Foden. Alvarez out, Haaland in, Foden plus KDB. Right, let's have a play. Let's have a little look at what we can do here, because after selling Salah last week for Garnacho, which is the safe move I was saying to you guys about on the stream that I actually went through with, I'm now Mrs. Moneybags, as you can see. I can literally buy Saka again somewhere if I had an extra slot. Jansky, is that Haaland? Who have you held for 6 weeks? Geddy, I'm at 65k and thinking numbers out. Haaland, oh, sorry. Mubama out and Haaland in. Solanke, Haaland, Watkins, front three. I mean, it's really hard to sell Alvarez after his brace. And if I remember correctly, early doors, like early season, didn't we all have like the triple up or the double up of both Alvarez and Haaland? But the problem is we cannot drop Watkins ahead of Sheffield United, right? He's like potentially a captaincy option. And then Solanke's done nothing to be dropped either. And Alvarez is up there price-wise, so yeah. The other thing I really would like to do, I think, potentially, whether I get Haaland or not this week, is to sell Bowen. Look, he hasn't done anything wrong. He plays in Gameweek 26. United, well, yeah, I mean, that can go either way, but it's just that he's been he's kind of dropped off a little bit the last 3 weeks, right? And these are fixtures where you'd really kind of be expecting him to get something. Man United, I'd like to say that was a tough fixture. I mean, it's red on the FDR. I don't think it really is a red. Arsenal, I'm going to say we should pose a bit of uncomfortability for West Ham, even though I think he scored against us last time, if I remember correctly. Ooh, I got an assist. Forest can be a tough team. They can be a tough team, and I think they're away at Forest as well, yeah. I mean, here, yes. Like, I'd like him for kind of maybe potentially some of this, but I don't know if I really want him for the next 4. And when I look at it like that, and I think I could be getting in a Jota who potentially will have a double game week. Obviously, if it doesn't get announced today, then that looks very likely for next week. But there's Jota who potentially could have a double game week, and I may be able to get to KDB. In fact, let's see if I can get to KDB, because it may not even be. And I am going to have to get rid of Trent. And to be honest, after Conor Bradley doing so well, I don't know where that leaves Trent anyway. I don't know what Klopp will think, how he will respond to that, whether he'll feel Trent is more solid against Arsenal. I mean, will he start Trent, bring Bradley on? Because I don't know, and because the last couple of times I've seen Trent since he's come back from the injury, I haven't been particularly impressed with him. I know I will want just like a chance at having like a KDB or a Salah or a Son back in my midfield along with Haaland. And whilst I have Trent, I'm just not going to be able to do that, right? So it's, look, against Arsenal is the bit that I hate, because you know damn well I'll sell him this week. He'll start and he'll get that 18-pointer that I've been waiting for, and it'll be against my team. But but I just want to know if it's possible, right? So I think the thing is now that we just have to. So it's more than possible. It's annoying though that I don't have enough to keep Trent there. I have pretty much enough for any other defender in the game, just not Trent. Maybe it could be Trippier time again. I mean, Newcastle's fixtures are about to turn for better, right? Luton, Forest, Bournemouth. Okay, they've got Arsenal, but I mean that's not a bad little. Would it be a decent trade off? Maybe a Trent to Trippier. They don't blank in 26 either. Leaves me some money in the bank to get me potentially like a closer switch to like back to Salah when he comes back. There's that option, or we could go really well. We could stick with Liverpool and go Van Dijk. He's a bit cheaper. I mean, I'm not bowled over necessarily by his points, but it's sticking with that Liverpool in case they get the double game week. I'd really love Doherty. I really would. It's that blank game week, and with already having Gusto in my defence, that I'm gonna have to move on. It'd be a tough one. Obviously can't go with any of the City lads because of if I go with De Bruyne. Obviously, if we found out that Liverpool were doubling, then potentially I could go for a City defender and go with Jota, so that I'm kind of still keeping 4 doublers. Right, I'll check in the chat a second. Solanke, Haaland, Watkins front 3. Haaland, yes. Yeah, I mean, fair play for sticking with him this long. Hopefully he'll start to repay you now. I would love a punt and Gordon. Yeah, he is another option, you know. He really is. What do we think in getting Arsenal strikers? Are you talking? You'd only really be talking about Jesus though, right, Ivan? Because Nketiah seems to have lost his place. And I don't mind Jesus. I don't. But your Haalands and your Alvarezes are going to have double game weeks coming up. So just how much of that they play, obviously, is anyone's guess. Is Pep, right? Saka to KDB. Bryn, didn't we have this discussion last week? Oh, you mean just like Saka, Jesus? I mean, do you mean keeping or buying, right? Start Jota or Gabriel M benching TAA. Start Jota. The form he is in, I would start Jota all day long. All day long. I'm even very tempted. Like, I mean, what I could do without even taking a -4 would be just to get Jota in for Bowen. Which is another option for me. Oh, never. That's because That's another option for me, obviously. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much sure that if Tony thinks that Haaland's going to start, that I'll get Haaland in, right? So that's kind of buy or buy. So that's one of my transfers. Then I think my 3 midfield replacements, whether I was considering selling Saka or Bowen, would be, so if you're in the same boat and you're considering selling Saka or Bowen, would be Jota, KDB, or Gordon. Now, I would love to say Richarlison, and he has been doing very, very well. But it's that having to get him back out again at 26 that I don't like. In my shoes anyway, because I've already got Gusto and Palmer that aren't playing. So, and Pedro Porro. So if I add Richarlison to that, I'm going to have to make a transfer. And I really don't want to if I can help. Like, don't want to be locking in transfers if I can help it. So, yeah. And then my other option is to sell Trent, which I would really like to do. Interestingly, you guys are saying no to buying Haaland. That interests me. Okay, then I'm going to ask who are your captain in then? I have to try and guess who these people, who you might captain now. Alvarez, Watkins, Bowden, KDB. If it's somebody else, if you're considering captaining somebody else, let me know in the chat. I'd like to know if you're not considering buying Haaland, like 67% of you say, no, you're not. I'd like to know who is your captain, please. Ooh, John, like Gordon, nice pick, like that. Going for Saka captaincy. John against Liverpool, are you sure? Palmer against Wolves. Oh my god, I may have to bench Sack. The realisation, this is the problem I had last week, remember? This is why I sold Salah to Garnacho, so I wouldn't have a benching headache. And Saka saved himself this Tuesday evening by scoring that goal. Otherwise, he'd very much be on the chopping block this week. but at 60% owned, and with West Ham and Burnley around the corner, the last three's done more than what Bowen has done for me. So Ketin worked out in his great memory. He did, and he is a brilliant player, but unless we get a penalty, Liverpool is going to be a very tough game for us. I mean, if I knew Trent was starting for definite, then I wouldn't be selling Trent. I mean, the fact that I'm even trying to get Jota in, like, this is... We are desperate for a win. We will be desperate for a win, and we will try very hard, but I think you do have to nod the calibre of the opposition, right? Look at what Liverpool have been able to do without Mo Salah so far this season. They have not missed him at all. And I fancy us to go toe-to-toe with them. Whether we'll win, that bit I'm not sure, but what I do feel is that it'll be quite a close-ish game, and I don't know what that means for the likes of a Saka. I don't even know what it means for the likes of like a Jota. So, yeah. I think, I think Tony simply states ready to start, not equals he will start for Haaland, hence the gif of KDB on the bench. Ready to start equals will start. And then Haaland was on the bench. Oh, okay, so maybe. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I read that wrong. Apologies there. Oh, yeah, that does make it more difficult, doesn't it? Oh, my nose looks really red. Oh, the lighting in here. That's mad. Yeah, I have read that. So, okay, so that's why you're not buying him, because it suggests that he'll be benched, right? Okay. Yeah. I have enough just to do Bowen to KDB and roll another transfer. It could just be as simple as that. I sure for said Odegaard this week for either Gordon, Palmer, Jota, Neto. He might perform when I transfer him. Yeah, it's always the way. Hey, Neil. Captain in Haaland. He's not on the poll. It's because I did a previous poll, Neil, asking if people were buying him, and 67% said no. So I then said, well, if you're not buying him, who are you captaining? So that's why he's not on the poll. Geddy thinks he's buying him but not captaining him. Pep could start him. Who knows? That's so true. It is so true. Just don't know. Just don't know. Thing is, he didn't look great when he came on, but then at what point is the sort of thing where you feel like as soon as Haaland starts firing, that's it, you're off, and then you need him in your team, but then you're potentially a step behind. But then if he's going to potentially be on the bench for the next two games like KDB was and be eased back in, and comes on and puts on performances like he did the other night, you're like, do I need that kind of stress in my life when I could have had Alvarez for a brace 2 minutes earlier, you know? John, are you selling Bowen and keeping Garnacho? Right, yeah, that sounds mad, doesn't it? Yes, probably. Simply because, John, I do not want the benching headache every week. It's very easy being able to... It's fine, Neil. You're here now. That's the main thing. On my wild card, I made life very difficult for myself by having a really strong 5-man midfield and 3 up top, and it was really tough, like really tough, because I ended up benching Palmer, and you can, here you go, you can see, I'll show you, you can see the exact moment when I when I benched Palmer. It was here. And literally, ever since, I've been pretty much... I got Green Arrow the week after, which was tiny, like the tiniest one, like 1k. And then I've just dropped like a stone every week. So up until last week, I had a really strong 5-man mid 3 up top, and I was leaving points on my bench here, and it just meant that I was really struggling to know who to choose every week. So it sounds nuts to do it that way, but I would rather have that 8 mil spot and be able to buy Bowen back if I want him, I think, than having to worry about who I put on the bench every week. With Garnacho, it's just so easy. It's just nice. I can just put him there and I don't have to worry. I know that then means that maybe I'm missing out on having like a Richarlison or a Bowen or a, you know, an extra really cheap midfielder, but I've really struggled with knowing who to bench every week, and it's psychologically wise, it's made FPL less enjoyable for me, because it's meant that I'm concentrating so much on who I'm benching every week that I'm stressing over that, rather than just being clear on, like this week now, I'm just feeling like I can just be clear on whether I want to sell Saka, whether I want to sell Alvarez, whether I want to sell Bowen, whether I want to sell Trent, and who I want to buy for those people, rather than me thinking, who do I sell out? This person, this person, this person, this person, and then who do I bench out of this person, this? But it's just layers on top of layers of stress that I just don't want or need. It's meant to be a fun game, so I just feel like with Garnacho, I can just chuck him on the bench. He plays in 26. Probably won't bring me anything of any real quality, but if he does, great. If he doesn't, then you know, sod it. I mean, who's he? He has what? Who's he even have in 26? He has Fulham in 26. I mean, it's not terrible, right? So that's my thought behind selling Bowen instead of. In my opinion, Alvarez owing should keep him, meant owners should keep him. Who would you then get Haaland in, Geddy, or would you just leave him this week? Interested to know. Yeah, Gross is a good option too. He's ticking away. Hey, scientist. Am I ready for the... Yes, we're ready for it, buddy. My fellow kebab. We've not done so well, bless us. So, yeah, we're ready. Let's go. Bring on those red... No, come on. Mindset. Let's change it. Positive thinking, positive thinking. Green arrows this week, scientists. We've got it. Let's chant together. Green arrows, green arrows, green arrows. This is the week we turn our luck around. This is it. Come in. We're going to get back into that top 100k. This is it. Come on, lads. We need some good energy. Good energy. Yeah, there'll be no chance of a leak. He's fit enough to start. He will. No two ways about it. You think he starts. Ugh. We're so divided, aren't we? We're so divided. The moment I'm going Solanke. Oh, hey, Jamie. Solanke captain. Like it. Against Forest. Could be a shout, to be fair. Solanke's at home. It's not a bad shout. I don't ignore where my captaincy is at, by the way. I won't be captaining. I don't think I'll be captaining Foden anyway. I mean, do I even trust the Stupinan against Crystal Palace this week anymore? Ugh. Ugh. Hopefully Eze and Elise are out. And Martinez, man, if he doesn't do it against Sheffield United and I somehow manage to roll another transfer this week, he may be gone next week. Honestly, he really may be gone next week. Because I'm not sure how long I can keep like picking him. Palmer against Wolves. Yeah, I like that as a shout. I don't think I've had any Palmer hauls since I've owned him. I mean, I've had them, but they've been on the bench. So maybe this could be the time where I'm like giving it, and he owes me, doesn't he, really? He does owe me. I feel like... Do we feel like Watkins was like more of a one-off goal? Like, he's not really going to go mad against Sheffield United? Because it felt a bit like one-offy, didn't it? Like, given on his form recently. So we really go big against Sheffield United? But then again, 43% of you are leading the way on Watkins. So, but then obviously I didn't give Palmer and things as an option because I can only have so many apparently. So sorry about that, guys. I apologise. Right. So, out of my options, which ones do you guys like best? Like, do you think sell Bowen, sell Alvarez, sell Trent? What are we thinking? If I'm selling Alvarez, I'm only selling him to Haaland. I'm very tempted, regardless of whatever Watkins does this week, to shift him on against United for Tony. Because I would like that. I would like Tony for the double. So I need to try and think on that. Because I don't think I'm going to want to get rid of It's Fulham. But then maybe I could shift to Tony, Newcastle and City for Solanke. The problem is this afterwards. In comparison to Watkins is... Fulham, Forest, Luton. I'm gonna be stuck with Martinez for ages, aren't I? I'm stuck with him for ages. I won't want him, but I'll be stuck with him because of his fixtures. That's true. Haaland or KDB in a Jehl? I'm trying to make that decision myself. It's pretty much the question on everyone's lips, I think, this week. Honestly, buddy, I'm not sure I have the answer for you. So we have had Pep say that Haaland is ready to start. What that has meant, apparently, now that I understand it, is that Pep has also said that about KDB when he was fit, and then he started on the bench 2 in a row. So Watkins might be the way to go. Yeah, Bailey was very good. I was actually wondering if I could take a 1 week punt Bailey John against Sheffield, almost like what people did with Eze last week. But it's just, if I knew Haaland wasn't starting, then yeah, I maybe do it and roll the other transfers, and then, you know, just see it as a bit of a 1 week punt type style thing. Would I consider Bowen to KDB? No, Haaland. Absolutely, Neil, I would. It's absolutely in my thinking. Yeah. Yeah. And then I could carry the 2, and I'd still have money in the bank to get Haaland after that. Oh, do you mean like long term? Oh, that's tougher, since you said makes it easier to get Tony in the forward slot. Long term, I'm not sure I can. So many people usually own him that if he just does anything, it just murders you, right? It's like Saka, right? He's not exactly pulling up trees every week at the moment. If he fancies doing that against Liverpool, then then that would be great. He's not exactly pulling up trees every week, right? But to sell him at 60-something%, this is the other reason for selling, say, a Bowen over a Saka, is that Bowen is 26% owned, whereas Saka is 60% owned. So it'll hurt a lot more if Saka does something compared to Bowen doing something against me. I went to do a high-risk move earlier. Alvarez, Salah, Lascelles for Fulham asset, Brozier, William Robinson and Leno. You really want some Fulham in it, John? I remember you saying at the beginning of the week that you wanted some Fulham assets in. Is it just their fixtures at the moment? Is that what's kind of calling you? Because they've got Burnley, right? Bournemouth. Remember, Burnley still scored against Man City, right? I've had Leno in my Ultimate Champions team for weeks now, and he's done naff for me. In fact, when I bought him, that's when his points fell off of a cliff. Jamie, I generally don't know which one I feel more animosity towards out of Watkins and Saka. Thanks for the timing. I doubt I'll ever have a chance to eat them, so I so want to. Yeah. Yeah. They're both so highly owned, and yet it's like catch-22 situations, isn't it? You feel like you want to sell them on, but you just know it's going to absolutely cane you if you sell them and they do anything. There's one guy in one of the groups I'm in who didn't have Saka when he scored on Tuesday evening, and his rank just plummeted. Yeah, they do in Brozier, I guess, but you know, I'm always a bit dubious to jump straight in with these things. Like, maybe give it a week, see how the system works out, see who they're going to go with. Scientists, keep Trent in case he gets a double game week. Keep Bowen one more week. If Chelsea beat Villa in the FA Cup, West Ham play in 29. And I think Watkins is a keep. Alvarez to Haaland seems most sensible, right? Okay, I'm going to counter-argument some of these few scientists. Yes, I understand about keeping Trent in case he has a double game week. However, if Salah returns before that double game week, I can't afford to have Haaland in my team and keep Trent whilst have Salah in. So the reason I'm considering selling Trent almost now is to kind of set back up for potentially getting Salah back in the team. So whoever goes in that Bowen slot, whether it's KDB, whether it's Jota, whether it's Gordon, whatever, they will likely, unless Foden starts losing his place, they will likely be the placeholder for Salah when he returns. And I'd much rather have Salah or Jota, I think, at the moment, just based on Trent's somewhat form, than Trent, if I'm honest. When I could be maybe having the likes of Trippier along with a Salah who has really nice fixtures coming up. Keep Bowen one more week. I think I'm going to free hit in game week 29. That's the big blank, isn't it? Game week 29. So I could get Bowen back for then anyway. Yeah, I will keep Watkins. There's no way I would sell him ahead of Sheffield United. And I guess it really just, the Alvarez to Haaland just really just depends on whether we feel that Pep is going to bench Haaland again and bring him on again. So yeah, that's fair, Jamie. Some people do, some people don't. Personally, I think if I'm somewhere in the top 200k, I pay a lot more notice to EO than what I do outside it, because I feel like when I'm outside it, I'm looking for differentials to get inside it. But I think anything 200 plus, I tend to pay attention to who has who and whether it's really going to hurt me, because that can, that really can make the difference whether you can get into the top 50k, whether you're kicked straight out of it because you just don't have one particular player. I mean, just benching Palmer the week he got that goal and assist has absolutely destroyed my rank. So, and that was just one player. Just one, literally one player. Happily sold Haaland in Gameweek 8 when he was 92% owned. I mean, fair play to you. Fair dues. And on that note, actually, about differentials and things, I was absolutely blinking chuffed that my whole players to target video for Game Week 22, that video, honestly, every player pretty much tick, 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 tick. Even Rashford, who he's stuck on the end as an absolute punt, he came in. So I'm well chuffed with that. So, I do give some good advice. I'm quite good at giving it, just not so good at taking it myself. Oh, it's funny. Yeah. I was actually quite shocked when Rashford scored. I was like, wow, my punt has come in. I love it. I love it. Come in. Right then, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up because, to be honest with you, I think I have to go away and I probably have to do a bit of planning, don't I? I have to really think about it. I think we have to see as well whether we'll maybe get some embargoed quotes tonight. There's a deadline. Deadline is tomorrow, isn't it? I have got that right. Yeah, tomorrow. So I think I need to go away and just do a bit of planning, see if any embargo quotes come out tonight, and then decide what I'm going to do. It's tough this week. I wasn't so bothered about not having Haaland last week with him coming off the bench. I just kind of thought hopefully Alvarez gets a chance to match Haaland if he comes off the bench. But this week feels slightly different. It feels like you're taking more of a risk because the kind of more match fit he gets, the more he kind of gets amongst the chances, the more likely he is to score, right? So it makes him way more dangerous, even if just on the pitch for 20 minutes. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know how much longer I can go without KDB in my team. Like, watching that match was tough. It was really, really tough watching that match, not owning KDB. So when I sit there and I think about, okay, think about this logically, what will I enjoy more? I will likely enjoy owning KDB more than I will owning Bowen this week. And that's the same actually for a Jota, probably even a Gordon. So I think Bowen is probably gone for me this week, because I think if I don't sell him this week, he might not go. I know he has the potential to haul at any time though, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just feel like a Jota or a KDB would have, or even a Gordon might even have more chance to haul. Okay. Sorry, I just went off on one there. Ciao, ciao. You too, buddy. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully we all have a good day. You know, we all want a good day. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you don't already. I'm pretty sure you guys are all regulars anyway. So I appreciate you dropping in, keeping me company for an hour this Friday afternoon. I hope the rest of your afternoon goes really well and you have a great Friday night. Do let me know if you're watching the rugby. I cannot wait for the Six Nations. I will be supporting Wales, and then after that I support Ireland so for my nonna. So yeah, I'll be watching the rugby tonight. Very much looking forward to that, and hopefully somewhere along the line I'll decide what I'm going to do. But just so you guys know, I think the likelihood is that that it'll either be Haaland in or KDB / Jota. I think they're probably the two moves I'll make. Trent potentially could go as well, but I'm gonna maybe wait and see on whether I'm going Haaland first, and I'll probably just wait out and see if we get any embargoed quotes before settling on any of that. So have a wonderful evening. Do hit me up on Twitter if you hear anything or you've had any thoughts on your team and if I can help, and I'll chat to you more there. Have a great evening and I will catch up with you soon. Bye guys, Nympria out.